There was something strange about the way he walked. Tail swinging freely, ears perked, eyes scanning the neighborhood like he belonged there. But he didn't. He wasn't someone's dog, despite the way he greeted each backyard with a curious trot and a wagging stance, eager to play. He was a coyote, a wild animal wandering through Atlanta's suburban neighborhoods as if he were just another pet out for his morning rounds. And that's exactly what made this story both heartwarming and deeply urgent. Neighbors began to talk. First, it was just a few folks on the local Facebook group. Has anyone else seen this coyote hanging out with the Johnson's golden retriever? Then the videos started. Fuzzy clips of a skinny, amber-colored canine bouncing around with Labradors and Terriers like they were old friends. One clip showed him hopping over a chain-link fence to nudge a sleepy pit bull. Another showed him rolling on his back beside a curious husky. People weren't sure what to think. Some laughed, calling him the backyard buddy. Others were afraid. Lisa Carrington, a mom of 3 who lived on Maple Grove Drive, had mixed feelings when she saw the animal in her yard one morning. "At first, I thought he was just a stray dog," she said. "Then I saw his eyes. Wild. Not dangerous, just different. But then he started playing with our lab like they were best friends, and I didn't know what to do." Calls started pouring in to the local rescue team. They were used to getting reports about injured wildlife, the occasional raccoon in a garage or owl in distress. But this was new. A coyote making daily rounds through the suburbs, not looking to harm, just connect. They named him Carmine. Brandon, one of the lead rescuers at Wild Heart Animal Aid, was the first to see him up close. "We got reports of him showing up at different houses. Every time we arrived, he was already gone. But he wasn't trying to hide. That's what worried me. A coyote without fear of humans usually doesn't end well. For anyone." Despite Carmine's friendly behavior, the situation wasn't safe. He was still a wild animal, and his comfort around humans could easily put him in danger, or lead to conflict. So, with special permission from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, the team was allowed to capture him and place him in a sanctuary where he'd be safe. And hopefully, finally at peace. It took days of careful tracking, patience, and coordination. Live cage traps were set, not to harm, but to safely contain him. Brandon checked the trap one morning and gasped. There he was, sitting, not panicking, just looking at her, as if he'd been waiting for someone to finally come take him home. "What surprised me most," Brandon said, "was how calm he was. No growling, no pacing, just quiet curiosity. That's rare. It made me feel like he didn't know he was supposed to be wild." They transported Carmine to the Yellow River Wildlife Sanctuary. He was examined, vaccinated, and given space to rest. But Carmine wasn't the only coyote there. Another one, Wiley, had been brought in months earlier. Unlike Carmine, Wiley had been illegally raised by humans and couldn't be released into the wild. He was playful, affectionate, and in need of companionship. The staff couldn't help but wonder, could these two misfits find something in each other that they'd been missing? It wasn't an instant match. They started slow, placing them in separate enclosures side by side so they could see and smell each other without direct contact. At first, Carmine was hesitant. He paced, he watched, he kept his distance. But Wiley was persistent. Every day, he wagged, he chirped, he rolled on his back just close enough to the fence line. And finally, Carmine responded. The day they opened the door between their enclosures, something incredible happened. No growls, no tension, just cautious steps. Then wagging tails. Then a joyful pounce. From that moment on, they were inseparable. They chased each other through the grass, shared food, curled up beside each other at night. It was as if they'd both been waiting their whole lives for someone who finally understood them. For many watching this unfold, it wasn't just a rescue. It was a reminder. A reminder that connection isn't limited to humans. That even animals with difficult pasts, misunderstood instincts, or broken beginnings can find peace, friendship, and maybe even healing, if given the chance. Carmine and Wiley's story isn't over. They now live in a permanent sanctuary enclosure, safe from harm, with room to roam and people who care. But it takes support, financial, emotional, and community-driven, to make these stories possible. Sanctuaries like Yellow River depend on donations to provide medical care, food, and space for animals like Carmine and Wiley to live full, happy lives. If this story moved you, even just a little, consider supporting your local wildlife rescue or sanctuary. Share Carmine's story, volunteer if you can, or simply spread awareness that wild animals deserve compassion too. Because sometimes all it takes is one kind act to change a life. And sometimes that life has a tail, sharp ears and golden eyes that never gave up on finding a friend.